How are you doing? I hope you're having a fantastic day, because today we're going to be editing these three photos into these. But before we get started, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because it really does help us out over here. And if you go ahead and comment I subscribe down there, we're going to do everything and anything, all the things that we can do to go ahead and reply to you. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright guys, so now that we're in Lightroom, let's get to work. Alright, so this is our first picture here. It's ellipse picture of a sign of Alexandria. You know, it'd be really cool if this light was on and it was nighttime, but that's not what it is, and that's not what we're doing. We're gonna reset this one more time. Go ahead and lock that off because we don't want to see that. Sorry, John. No. Okay. Okay. All right, guys. Oh, let's turn ourselves around here. All right, guys. Ridiculous. All right, guys. So now that we're in Lightroom, let's get to editing these bangers. Bangers. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is go ahead and we have our amazing picture here of Alexandria the second, the sign of it. It'd be really nice if it was nighttime maybe and the sign was lit up. But we're gonna go over here and hop over here to my moody preset here, because this is what we've been working with for a while, and it's been giving us a theme to go around. And ultimately it's just kind of making that editing process a little bit faster, okay? And at the end of the day, I'm probably gonna be switching up almost everything over here on the side, so on the side, so don't worry, you're gonna see all of it, and it's gonna look nothing like this preset here. But all I'm saying is that it is a fantastic way to start, and it does definitely quicken the flow, the editing flow, the workflow of all of this. So definitely we're gonna start this, okay? So we're gonna definitely start off with moody preset 1. This already looks great, okay? I love this. Okay, there's not a lot to do, but definitely the first things that we're gonna do is go ahead and push up these highlights here, because definitely our picture is just a little darker than I want it to be, a little too moody as per se the presets. But anyways, we're gonna go here and do a little white balancing here. This is definitely what we need. Definitely get our colors right here, and we're gonna go ahead and bring our shadows down. Go ahead and bring our highlights down, because as you can see right here in this background, we have all these kind of branches, and we definitely want to see that because there's not too much in the sky. So we're not keeping anything, you know, back there. Okay. Definitely let's keep this mood right, and just keep that right there. Okay, I'm liking our clarity, but I think that's just a tad bit high for us, and I don't think that this needs to be dehazed at all. Okay, I'm actually gonna pull down our saturation here and actually boost our vibrance, because it just looks better like that. It just looks better like that. Okay, we're gonna go here, and I actually think that I can actually pull down these shadows just a little bit. Remember, our attention is Alexandria, the sign, not these branches in the front, right? This is our foreground. Definitely we want to know it's there, right? So we can create some depth in the picture. But we got to make sure that our subject, you know, that's what we're looking at here, right? And that's what our attention needs to be drawn to. So let's definitely go ahead and darken those a little bit. And what I forgot to do, what we always do, please never forget this, is to make sure our pictures are nice and straight, the way that they should be. Okay, so that's actually straightened up to the wall. And let's see. I think if we do a crop in here, we're gonna actually take this wall out. So if we go ahead and take the wall out, what that means is that, oops, everyone pause. We're gonna go ahead and, oops, go back here. So if you're gonna go ahead and be doing like anything cropping wise, you wanna go ahead and hold our shift button here. This just allows us to lock in this frame, because otherwise it will be a custom kind of crop. It's a custom crop, and that definitely changes the aspect ratio of this, and we don't want to do that quite yet with anything. We want to keep everything just the way it's kind of shot. Okay, this isn't looking too bad here. Okay, I think we're gonna just change this up a little bit, and I do want to push over to the side, which means making this a tad bit smaller and being able to push this over to the side here, right here. Okay, again, we have Alexandria. Okay, I'm actually, let's see, I'm actually gonna push it just a tad bit to the bottom. I want to push a tad bit to the bottom. Okay, boom. This is what I'm saying. I'm liking this, okay? Okay, so now that we have kind of our basics of light down, let's go over our tone curves, because this definitely can be changed a little bit here, okay? Definitely, okay? I want to bring a little bit more light into this, right? Because we took so much out of there, but with that, we also want to bring in some lights in here, okay? You can see if we look right in the center there, in the middle here, there's a lot of lights going on here, and obviously there's tons and tons of darks going here. We don't want to crush these too badly here, though. Okay, definitely, right? We're definitely going with this crushed black look. I'm really liking that, right? Again, there are huge advantages having a beautiful, just dark black like that, but again, it's not exactly what we're going for, so we're gonna go ahead and crush those just a little bit there. Go ahead and pull down our darks, because this is a moody picture. It's a real moody picture, you know? This is already looking fantastic, okay? I think our hues right here, we're gonna go ahead and keep these pretty much the same. I'm really liking the colors that we're having here. Let's see, saturation. Again, there's not a million colors going on in here, okay? So what I'm seeing is a lot of oranges, maybe some blues, definitely a lot of red, oranges, and yellows, okay? Maybe some blues in there. All right, so honestly, I think what we could do, right, is let's go ahead and push up some of these colors here. Just add us a little bit more color into there, right? These we're gonna go ahead and leave the same. And actually we did add that color into our red and oranges, but I'm gonna go ahead and actually bring down the luminance in this, because again, we don't want to bring too much attention to these branches. They're branches. No one cares about the branches. They're branches, right? Maybe in another picture, but not in this one in particular. Okay, so I think this is looking great. Okay, although we're adding more color, we decided to definitely take out some of the brightness and attention that we draw to that, okay? Let's go into saturation and see what we can do with these letters. Let's see what color this is. This is interesting. It's a yellow and orange here, because that's the color that we're taking out, but I think that'll be okay, right? We're gonna go ahead and not too much there. I think it's our yellow that we want to go ahead and punch up, because that's what's going to bring attention to Alexandria, the sign. Okay, let's see. This is looking fantastic. Okay, highlights. I actually think we're going to leave this alone. I think it looks fantastic with that. We don't need any noise reduction. Okay, right. This definitely we can go ahead and maybe leave this right here. Definitely leave that right there. Okay, so definitely towards like the end of the pictures is when I tend to do this. It also depends on how we're feeling and what needs to be absolutely edited first, but I definitely tend to put on gradient layers or radial filters on later and after. Okay, so what I do definitely want to go ahead and do, right, is go ahead and bring us some attention to Alexandria, the sign, and let's make sure that is clicked inverted, clicked off, because if we don't, then we want to bring the attention in. Okay, bada bing, this is boom. That's only one. This is what things are. This is what things are looking like. This to this, right? Looking fantastic. I'm really liking that. But I think we need some more filters. Okay, I'm gonna go in here and shape our light just a tad bit. I'm actually not liking that one right there. I'm actually thinking a little bit like this, just a little bit like that. 0.3, right? Obviously, we need one more. Oops. We obviously need one more, just right here. And we're gonna go ahead and get a brush and say erase, and go ahead and make our brush bigger. And go ahead and make sure that Alexandria is not part of that. Oops. Of that gradient filter. Okay, yes, again, bringing attention there. Okay, awesome. I think this looks amazing. Okay, we're moving on. Okay, this is a beautiful shot of this amazing clock here. Okay, so if we're gonna go hop into our moody preset, I'm thinking that 18 is where we definitely want to start, because that is, again, that mood that we're going for, and I'm enjoying that. Okay, so first and foremost, let's start with our basics. I definitely want to bring some more light into here. There's definitely a lot of contrast here, and I don't know if I completely agree with that. Again, we want to go dark and moody, but contrast, we got to watch our contrast. We don't want too much of that. Okay, go ahead, definitely bring down our lights in here. Bring some attention to this clock face. It's beautiful. Okay, let's definitely bring our shadows up here. We want to see a little bit more what's going on here. We can keep our blacks right down there because again, our blacks are going to be nice and crushed for this this moody theme that we like and we're going for. We're definitely going to change that up later on, but hey, for the first editing videos, we're going to go ahead and keep it nice and moody. Okay, all right here. So our clarity is definitely also on the extremely high side here. Definitely we want clarity, but clarity adds brightness to a picture. Okay, and again, I think we're going to go ahead and not worry too much about that dehazing. So this is already sitting in an area that I kind of like. Okay, I don't think that saturation is what I'm going for. We have these really, really bright oranges over here. And although we can desaturate that, it's going to be looking, I think we can just go ahead and take the color out of the whole entire picture. I think that it's definitely okay by me. It's already a pretty black picture, so I'm pretty okay with that. But I think what we can do is add just a little bit of vibrance into the picture. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so now we're down over at our tone curve. And this always is where things get interesting because I do want to bring some more lights into the lights, highlights. Because remember, our clock face is our attention, and it's these hands and these borderings here that are just look absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. And we want to bring a lot of attention to that, so we can really put them in such a place that's very just punching out, really punches you in the face, as you kind of see that. Okay, fantastic. So we're gonna come over our hue tab here. Okay, obviously there's going to be lots of red and oranges here, and this is going to be our clock face here. But here's the thing, I'm really, really liking the colors of our clock face, so I don't think that these should be touched all that much. I think that we could definitely think about maybe bringing in some more color over here, but we have to be very, very careful because over here we're going to be losing some color. Okay, so what we can do, this is fantastic. We're going to go ahead and bring out our saturation here, but we're going to bring in our brush tool. And if we're going to bring in our brush tool, right, oopsies, and we go ahead and make our brush tool bigger. We're gonna go ahead and make our feathering a lot less, and we're gonna go ahead and just color in our oopsies. Go ahead and just color in this, right? If we go ahead and push, we can go ahead and see what we've been coloring in here. Again, this doesn't need to be the bestest thing in the world. Ooh, okay. Go ahead and erase it if we want to. Right, we don't want anything on the sides there. It's fine if it gets brightened. But again, we're just going for this outline of this border here, right? Okay, let's get that in there. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, once we have that, now we're gonna go over to saturation. We're gonna go ahead and push that up. Go ahead and click 0 off. But now we have our saturation back in the clock face, but a little bit less over here. It's too much over there. Oh, and we don't need to change our exposure at all. Let's go ahead and keep that as is. And actually, let's just see what our sharpness does if we go and play with that. Why don't we actually push our sharpness up just a wee bit? Because we don't want to add too much sharpness thing, makes things look too crazy. But anyways, I'm liking this. This is looking great. I need a haircut, but this is looking great. Go, oops. Go ahead and bring our saturation down somewhere over here, because remember, there's still that color in there. It is still looking fantastic. What do we need now? Obviously, it's towards the end of the picture. Exactly, we need radial filters, always, always, always. And as you can see, this is almost like a vignette to it, but this isn't entirely. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and giving that a -0.3 vignette, but we're gonna actually go ahead and come over here, and we're actually gonna go ahead and bring just a tad bit of light, and right here we're gonna actually take some light out. Okay, now that we've added them, those are fantastic. Okay, let's run into our colors one more time. Okay, our yellows, that was fine. Our blues, these are fine. Our saturation here is fine. Actually, I think I might want to change our hues over here. These might just be something that we don't want. We want to maybe give me more blue. Give me more blue. I want the blue. I want the blue. Blue looks nice. I'm liking that, okay? I think we can go ahead and leave our color grading just right there. That looks great. Our luminance looks absolutely fine. I think if anything, matter of fact, we can maybe bring this down because we don't want to pull too much attention over there. Make sure our attention is on our clock face, okay? And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I want to make sure that this is looking fantastic. I'm really, really liking this. If anything, maybe just even pull back on this saturation even a little bit more, even just a tad bit more, okay? Okay, and that's looking pretty sick to me. That is looking pretty awesome to me. Okay, cool, fantastic, amazing. It is time that we move on to our next photo here. Okay, this is an interesting photo of this telephone booth, or the sign of the sign on the telephone booth. Fantastic. First and foremost, what we should do is definitely get our horizons correct here. Okay, and we're gonna do it with the telephone booth because we want everything to be straight on the telephone booth. That's looking straighter. Sure. If you don't know, we also have this cool angle tool here, and if we go here and run this along a straight line, I'll go ahead and straighten that up just a tad bit more for us, and I think that is what we're gonna go with, okay? So, what we like here is we're feeling moody 1. This looks fantastic. We're going with a very dreary, desaturated, low energy kind of an image here. Okay, so let's see, let's have our exposure up, bring some more life to this, definitely bringing that contrast up. Now this is a rather interesting picture. Let's see, I think we're gonna go ahead and bring our shadows down but bring the lights up. All right, our attention is right here. These lights, we don't care about this, we don't care about these. It's not about that, it's about right here. It's all about right here. We do have a lot of blacks in there, but let's go ahead and be very respectful of our image here because it feels that it wants to be brighter and more seen, okay? Again, we can watch our contrast. More contrast brings more light to our image, but don't go too crazy with contrast, you know? We don't want to go too crazy with contrast. Contrast can easily be overdone. Easily be overdone. Now see, this is interesting because most of our pictures, we've been taking out a lot of saturation here, okay? But if we take out too much saturation, then our phone booth it's red. We want it to look red, right? If it's not red, well, that's the color of the phone booth. That's like it's like its thing. It's its thing. Okay, so we want to make sure that we don't take away too much of that, okay? So we're gonna do our tone curve. We don't have too many darks in here, but again, our whole theme is to crush our blacks there. That looks looking fine to me. So I'm gonna bring some lights in here because that is going to be where that phone booth is. So that's gonna be that phone booth right there. I'm really liking this. This is really interesting. Bringing more light to there. If anything, I think we can go ahead and that looks great to me. That's looking great to me. Okay, I'm liking our hues there. There's actually a different red that we're gonna change when we go in here. This is actually gonna be in our calibrations. Okay, and this is a red that we definitely want to keep a rich, beautiful red, and we're gonna go ahead and pump in some saturation there. See, our saturation there. Okay, what I'm also gonna try and go ahead and do is see if we can pull out some of these magentas and purples, because those definitely don't belong in there. Our greens definitely don't belong in there. We don't want any green. We don't want any aqua, probably. Weird color to have, and probably not a huge reason to have a lot of blues in there either, okay? We can definitely gonna have some blue in there. Make sure it's a nice, pretty blue that we want, nothing too purple or anything, okay? This isn't looking too bad. This isn't looking too bad. Now this we haven't been using too much, but I think today, or for this image, I think we do want to use a little bit of it, okay? So for our shadows, we're gonna go ahead and give us something a little bit more darker of a bluish, I think we're gonna go with, and for our lights, we're gonna go with something a little bit orangish, all right? Addison, help us feel that telephone booth out a little bit more, right? We're adding some more color because obviously the telephone booth is highlighted, it's all bright. So let's go ahead and put some color into that. Okay, fantastic. Fantastic, okay? So we did come over here and these are being changed just a tad bit. These don't want to be changed too much, okay? I know that these are changed quite a bit over here, but I recommend that you do play with them because it definitely does add a different punch to your pictures and a different feel and look to your pictures. So go ahead and definitely play with those. But be very careful with these because as soon as you go too crazy with these, it does definitely start changing your values up here into our HSL colors. So definitely do be careful with those when you're changing, when those are being changed, okay? All right. This is looking fantastic. What do we do always at the end of the picture? Well, we're always gonna do some type of radial filter. Not every single picture requires one of these, right? But oftentimes it really does help to bring some kind of attention to something. And this is what we really love about this, okay? I think we should go ahead and bring a little bit more light to that and just take our highlights down just a tad bit more. And wait, I think this does require one more thing. I think this does require just a tad bit more of noise reduction, okay? Because there is just, we are going bright in there. We're definitely brightening that up, okay? Alrighty. So let's definitely move on, because I think I'm really, really liking this picture, and I think that it's done. I don't think we want to add any more to that, because less is more. Less is more. Less is more when we're in Lightroom, okay? Less is more. Okay, so this is our last and final picture. This is a cool picture. This is just like a really interesting picture, and we gotta do this picture justice, because it's an interesting picture. I like this picture. I like this picture, okay? So first and foremost, we're gonna go ahead and do some white balance. We're not gonna be doing a preset here because we're not feeling it. We're going free here, okay? We're gonna prove that you don't always need a preset to be making some cool pictures, okay? So first and foremost, let's do some exposure. Some exposure balance, okay? This is exposure, baby. Okay, contrast. We like contrast. Contrast it makes things seem dramatic, right? Definitely some more lights in the shadows. And actually, let's go ahead and bring up our lights here. Bring our lights up, our whites up. Now you might be saying, well, Ryan, everything's so bright. Why is everything so bright? I thought the theme was moody darkness. That's my dog. All right. And we're gonna go ahead and we are gonna make our blacks here. We're gonna make sure our crushed. Okay, we have been pushing up our clarity here. I apologize about my dog, and there's not a lot we can do here. Hang in there with me, friends. Okay, my clear, we're gonna keep it here, and well, like you said, Ryan, we're gonna go ahead and bring down some of that saturation there. Definitely, like we've been doing. Push up a little bit of that vibrance, okay? I think we're gonna go in here one more time. We're gonna go and make our beautiful S-curves, but this is a very basic S-curve that brings contrast into our pictures. And again, like we've always been doing, we're gonna go ahead and crush those blacks like we've always been doing. Nothing too crazy here. Definitely nothing too crazy here. Okay, we're gonna go into our hues, and these have been being changed quite often. Okay, so I think basics, we're gonna go ahead and keep these more or less the same. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and take out all of these colors. I don't think we need our aquas, we don't need our greens. Okay, these yellows. Okay, we do actually want to bring some saturation and color to those because there's a lot right there, and I don't think that there's red in there. There's definitely our yellows and oranges. I'm really liking those. Okay, we definitely want a lot of color into those. 100%. Fantastico. Okay, just darker. And actually, I think we're gonna go pull down our shadows there, add a little bit more drama to this picture here. I think that's what we're really missing. That's what we really need. Because if we don't go ahead and pull down our shadows here, this really punches out these cool yellows right there, which makes that infinitely more amazeballs. And like we were doing before, let's go ahead and pull down our saturation here. This is looking fantastic. Okay. Now that we're over here, we are going to go ahead and add into our shadows just a tad bit of blue, But like we've also been doing, highlights, let's add just a tad bit of orangeness just to counteract that. Just a tad bit. Just a wee bit. Go ahead and see that. Bada bing, bada boom. Nothing too big. Didn't see that. There's a big difference. Big difference there. Big difference there, friends. Big difference there, friends. Okay? Okay. So we're still missing something here. We're still missing something, okay? And like I always say, right, we also need our radial feathers. Now this is a little bit interesting because we're gonna be doing some things a little bit flip-flopped, okay? On the dark side, we're actually gonna go 1.3. And you say, what? Why would you do that after you just darkened it? Well, the whole idea here is to add this funky, interesting balance here, okay? So this is really, really interesting because when we go back and forth, you say, whoa, 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 it's amazing. I didn't know you could do that. And I say, of course you can. Okay, we want to make sure that our blacks are nice and crushed here, okay? I want our picture to look nice and moody because that's what this picture is. This is definitely a nice and moody picture. Okay, I definitely want to go over here into my blues. This is a really important blue. This is a really, really important blue, okay? And I do want to make sure that though our blue looks correct. Blue to just look right. Nice, beautiful, beautiful deep dark blue. Okay, and this is something made of look. Okay, now this is just a little test for me. I'm not entirely sure if this is actually going to do what I want, but amazing. This is always like what we love to do. So I think that this is a bit much. It's just a bit much. And I think what this really does require is something very, very minimal, because again, the center of the picture isn't exactly, or not again, but the center of the picture isn't exactly what we're going for. It's just the whole picture in its entirety. So we're not trying to pull your attention towards a certain direction or some place, right? We can go ahead and just leave it just like this, right? Without pulling your attention. Maybe we go another 0.5, okay, that's, no, 0.5 more. Even that's a lot. No, that's like way too much. I'm sorry, it's a 0.01. 0.01? Is that right? Can we see that? Is that seeable? No, it's 0.1. 0.1. Okay, I was gonna say, because 0.1, okay, no, not 0.1. 0.1, okay? This is good. This is kind of what we're going for, right? 0.1. Okay, I see. I'm derping. Let's go back to this radial filter, and we're gonna go negative 0.15. That's what we're gonna go for. Okay, so again, there's not too much attention being taken away from the picture in its entirety. Okay, and this is looking fantastic. Okay, so we're gonna have our 4 photos that we have here. Okay, we're gonna start here. We've had our Alexandria. This is our before, and this is our after. That's pretty amazing. Okay, we're gonna go on our next one. Before, after. Before, after. Pretty cool looking. Okay, our next one. Before, after, before, and after. Amazing. Before, after, before, after. Okay, super cool. All right, and that is going to be it for today. Thank you for joining me. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help us out over here. And again, if you go ahead and comment, I subscribe down there, we'll do anything and everything that we can do to reply back to you. So I guess we'll just see you guys in the next one.